between Richard and Julian. Richard on the comeback after a year off, where he's been playing bass guitar and double bass and singing in a rock and roll band.
I'm going to be a rock star when I grow up.
And Richard qualified with a 14.51 and Julian Vince with a 14.80. So on paper you'd say Richard would have the advantage, but it is 3 laps. It's a long way and everyone's tired. And Richard, living the rock and roll lifestyle, may not have the legs that Julian has at the end of the day. So we'll see how this one pans out.
And if you can't already feel it, the wind's starting to pick up a bit now. We're going to get a fairly good push in the back down the front straight.
Well, that's right, Nathan. It's been a beautiful day weather-wise, but we are just starting to get a bit of a breeze now. It looks like it's picked up to an almost straight southerly at about 5 knots or so. It won't make a huge difference.
Back straight. Yeah.
And that windsock now starting to stand proud.
It's a new one, videographer.
Plenty of room there. Richard giving room above and below. As we've said all day, the rider following must be able to pass on both sides.
So our B graders are going to head down to the start line now to get ready for their final. And that will of course be Brian and Martin and Neil and Robbie. Neil, the only rider in B grade to go through undefeated. But B grade being hot all the way through, there was only 0.3 of a second between the fastest and the slowest qualifier in B grade. But I think you'd all agree, as Julian Vince sleeps, and he's totally left Richard surprised. And that's an example of not paying attention there from Rich. I think he might have been distracted by the barbecue.
I think
Julian with a huge jump
beer from someone across the fence there. But anyway, let's see what happens now.
Richard does have speed on Julian.
Go Richard!
Richard's left himself a tower of work to pull that back.
Go Richard!
Julian pulled the same tactic with me earlier, as you probably saw. Jumped really early, but jumped really powerfully and put a huge gap.
Richard certainly bridged back up.
Right around the outside. Let's see what happens
Go
here.
Richard!
It's going to be tremendously close.
It's close, but it's not.